As much as we all like to rip on men, this is time to take some accountability.
And now that I think about it, I haven't actually recovered from the trauma of being dress coded as a young girl in her own house with her own family, even though the only man in my family was my dad. But I wasn't allowed to wear tank tops. I wasn't allowed to walk around with my underwear on. I wasn't allowed to wear short shorts. I had to shower with the door closed. I had to change in my own room. I couldn't sit with my legs spread open or up on the couch.
Nasty bitch.
And it was just like so much policing in my house of what I was allowed to wear and how I was allowed to express my own body. No wonder I grew up with so much internalized shame towards myself and my own body, because I literally wasn't allowed to just be a regular girl.
How is it normal behavior if you're trying to wear booty shorts? What else? You're showering with the door open and then you have your legs spread wide open. How is that wanted behavior? Why would any father want to see that?
In the comfort of my own house. The male gaze was literally conditioned to be placed in my head since I was a young girl. And it literally just registered this morning when I woke up because I didn't have a shirt on. And I was just walking around my apartment and I was like, why do I feel so weird? And then I realized I feel so weird because I'm shirtless walking around my house by myself. But I'm like, I'm at home by myself. Why am I not comfortable with my own body being exposed? And it's because the shame is still there. Please don't come
Yo, a lot of these women just want to be hoes. I'm telling you.
at me with, oh, it's the culture, it's not religion, oh, it's respect for your elders, it's not religion. No, it's religion. Religion makes men perceive young girls as sexual objects, and then it tells their mothers to protect those young girls from being sexually objectified by these men by covering up their body, because their body is somehow inherently sexual even though they're a child. And so what this does to you as a young girl is it places a man in your head who constantly shames you for your body, who constantly shames you for expressing your body, who constantly shames you for even looking at your body. I really think the major reason why I stopped being religious is because I could not get behind this idea that men somehow lack self-control, and it's somehow our responsibility as young girls to be less tempting for them. Like, girls don't even have this concept in their head. It's women and men in religion who place this concept onto them and make them walk around the entire world feeling ashamed of being a woman. I'm not trying to say that my dad is a
What does showing off your body have to do with being a woman? You just conflated the two things.
pedophile, but what I'm thinking about now is, why was it so important for us as young girls, me and my sisters, to be covered up at home? Isn't he our father? Isn't he the one who's supposed to protect us?
Well, the concept is quite easy to understand. Why would a father want to see his daughter's butt cheeks out in booty shorts around the house, naked? Does it make any sense? Idiot.
And provide for us and make us feel safe and valued. So why were we shamed for our bodies?
Because he doesn't want to feel uncomfortable in his own home.
Why were we told to cover up? Bottom line, it comes down to control. Again, it's always about controlling a woman's body, controlling her expression, controlling what a man perceives her as.
A lunatic, if you ask me.
Which is insane, because it's like men can perceive you as whatever they want, regardless of how you behave and how you present yourself, because they're the sexually deviant ones. It's not us. It's not my fault that I was born.
So we're the deviants that are telling you to cover up. And you're not a deviant because you want to show off your body. How does that make any sense?
A girl. It's not my fault that my child body incited disgusting thoughts in your head. That is not my responsibility to cover myself up.
You hear what she just said? It's not her responsibility to cover herself up. Okay? I guess she's waiting for the government to do that for her.
In order to prevent you from having those thoughts, you need to check yourself in the mirror and ask yourself why you're so messed up in the head. And if men really can't control their thoughts to that extent, where they see a child in a tank top and shorts and they have nasty thoughts, then are they really qualified to lead us anywhere? Are they qualified to do anything in any leadership position? Because babes, leadership is about self-control. Leadership is about consciousness. Leadership is about integrity. which are all things that men supposedly lack inherently because they're just men, just ruled by their animalistic urges. Okay, so I have a solution for this. We can put you in a cage and we'll take you out of the cage when it's time for you to do the do. Clearly, y'all haven't evolved past your animalistic urges, and you're a danger to society and a danger to children, and you need to be locked up, okay? And I'm gonna stand on that. And now that I think,
I guess she doesn't understand that even a woman would tell that young girl to go cover up. Is she a pedophile too? Does she want to control you too? Or maybe she doesn't like what she sees. Idiot. Everything she just described was basic etiquette and decorum. Why do you want to wear booty shorts in front of your parents? Why would you want to shower with your door open? Her parents were not the problem. It definitely was her. She hints at her father being a pedophile because he doesn't want to allow her to dress provocatively around the house. Why would any father want to see his daughter in lingerie? It's not about we can't control our urges. It's more about respect and boundaries. If she thinks men are so bad and disgusting and can't control their urges, why would you try to show off your body then in the first place? You love attention. She's not genuine. She should just admit she's a promiscuous person and stop looking to blame religion and others for her own sexual deviancies. Mere projections. Take a look at the comment section. Oh, the part about leadership hit. Oh man, there's never one smart girl in the comment section. It's always a bunch of freaking idiots. Underwear? I'm not allowed to wear pants and a t-shirt. Yeah, right. No way, I just remembered my sister's husband complained to her why I was sitting with my legs up on the couch. Not even my dad has ever said that. Because men have standards. Okay? He didn't like what he saw. Because maybe you don't have standards, but he has standards. Okay, people are allowed to have standards. It's like that in our house. My daughter is 16 and she already knows when she comes downstairs, she has to dress modest in front of her father. Not that I tell her, it's him who has educated our kids. Yes, because you must. Because the alternative is she comes downstairs wearing half her clothes and looking like a complete mess. Okay? And no, that's not going to be allowed. People have standards, okay? He's the father. He wants to see his daughter in the best light, not in some kind of sexual manner. Not at all. On to the next.
Women, your issue with these men is that you do not understand how much they want to sleep with you. You do not understand how much of their desire to be around you, spend time with you, is with this main goal of being able to have sex with you.
Gotcha, bitch.
However high you think a man's sex drive is and his hunger for sex is, times it by like 78. And an example that I can give to bring this to life is like nature. So when a gazelle sees a lion, the gazelle is off because that gazelle knows how much that lion wants to eat it. However, if the gazelle didn't have a clear knowledge of how much the lion wanted to eat it, it might stick around, toy with the lion for a little bit, wake up and find itself in gazelle heaven. And that's what happens to a lot of women. A lot of women are entertaining men, not knowing that the reason you're even able to have that conversation with that man and he's giving you that time is purely because he is planning how to get you in the bed. And honestly, that is the answer to a lot of the relationship dilemmas you guys ask me. When you ask me why he would do this or this, like, I have to refrain myself from saying it, but the answer is, to be clear, because he wants to fuck. I have to be so real. When you have questions...
Okay. What I have to say about that is, she is right. Women need to understand our nature thoroughly. If the status quo was marriage before sex, men would have to comply. But since women don't require marriage, men just play the sex game with you. We put our best foot forward, wine and dine you, get what we want, and depending on the type of man he is, either we stay or we go. The whole sexual liberation thing actually hurts women. Instead of holding and preserving your value, women have just given away for pennies on the dollar. Let's take a look at the comment section. My drive is just as bad. That's the issue. No, trust me, it's not as high as ours. I can guarantee you that. Unless you have like a real sex problem. Celibacy is the only answer. Yeah, but the only thing about that is all y'all have to be celibate at once. It can't just be a portion of women. The majority of women are still on this sexual liberation thing. So the guy will just move on to girls that are willing to have sex, right? So someone gets it. Yeah, she gets it. Once you develop your discernment, this becomes easier to navigate. Yeah, true, but if you have that intention in mind in today's world to, hold out before marriage, you're going to have to find a religious man to do it with, because a secular man will not stick around if all the rest of the women are still having sex, right? Something to think about. On to the next.
So I'm 26 years old, almost 27, and I have never been in a serious relationship.
What?
I never had a boyfriend, never been married. Even both my proms, I went to both of my proms by myself. I was never asked out, on a date to prom or anything like that. And this could be a red flag about me, but it just was never the right time. I just have never had anything go past the talking stage. It's just been like guys who either just didn't want to commit to me or it just didn't work out. So yeah, like even getting asked out on a date, like I haven't, like until recently, like I've never been asked out on a date before. For a while, I used to be upset about it because I was like, I feel like I'm missing out on something because, I never really experienced the whole like being in a relationship, and it's just a portion of my life that I supplement with friends and other things. My whole life, I have been single. I've never experienced the feeling of being in a relationship, having a boyfriend. I remember I talked about this when I was 19, and now I'm almost 27 talking about it. The situation still hasn't changed. So it's kind of good because it scares off people that aren't serious about me. But I do wonder sometimes like what it would be like to have a boyfriend. Like, I don't know, like I've never experienced it. So I'm 26 years old, almost 27, and I have never.
Okay. Interesting. She seems like a nice feminine woman. Why wouldn't men approach, right? Well, looking how the way she presents in this video, I would say she might be giving off this high maintenance vibe. There's nothing wrong with how she's dressed at all. Nothing at all, actually. She's not showing skin. She looks well groomed, everything like that. But she looks like a Kardashian type. Guys will look at her and think, she's cute, but she looks expensive. If men are not approaching, try looking more approachable. Smile, make more eye contact, make your choosing signals more obvious to men. We respond well to high interest. Let's take a look at the comment section. Probably so many guys have tried and she denied them. Don't fall for it, fellas. I wouldn't say that. I think she's actually telling the truth. I think her problem is she's a late bloomer, Growing up, she was most likely a nerd or just like a quiet girl, and guys weren't checking for her. Why are people thinking she's lying? I am also 26, 27 next week. Never had a boyfriend, never had a relationship, never had a guy approach me in public. Also never had a date to prom in high school. Well, I guess most people are thinking that she's lying because she looks like a pretty girl, and most pretty girls get approached. So girls, same. I'm 26 as well, and the same situation. It's looking like an epidemic. That's why you're so young and pretty, because men haven't ruined you. Oh, another man hater. The worst thing y'all could say is you're not missing out on much. They want the experience, y'all. Doesn't matter if it's happy ending or not. Yeah, don't listen to these miserable women online telling you don't worry about men. Okay, I don't know what in their mind or what in their past has triggered them to be so miserable, but don't join their company. Most women want to be in relationships. It's just that the mentally ill women want to keep other women from having fun and love. I don't get that stuff. It doesn't make any sense. All right, on to the next.
Manifest
manifest my own destiny. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll, the perfect recipe. May they remember me, my words will live on. I'm guided by an energy, a flame, hold it close to you. Check out my melodies. Is it the media that's been leading you? I'll show you a thing. Misdirection, what's the message? They don't want you to win.
As much as we all like to rip on men, this is time to take some accountability.